It's the controversial trial that restricts where welfare recipients can spend money. 6 months on from the rollout of the cashless debit card, how's it working?
Doesn't stop you from living your life.
It hasn't helped me at all.
It is the ultimate part of being part of this country. You contribute, you work hard, you pay your own way.
It's the tough social policy telling welfare recipients where they can spend their money.
I think it's not fair for the people who can't get a job to be basically given a card like they're just a number. I think too many people for long enough have been treated like they're just pieces of meat.
I think it's absolutely a great idea.
They can't use the card at the markets. It's only the big retail stores that are accepting the card.
The aim to stop welfare money being wasted on alcohol, gambling and drugs.
I'm very happy for every drug dealer in this town to go broke, to have to leave.
It's now been 6 months since the controversial cashless debit card was rolled out, with 6,000 locals now receiving their welfare payments via the new system. Tonight, the impact it's had on the towns and what those on the card actually think about it.
When I first heard about the card, I was truly petrified.
It doesn't affect your everyday life. You're not going to be drinking every single day. And if you are, well, this card is there to help you.
19-year-old Christian Mackay has been on the card since February. He's on New Start and receives around $500 in benefits a fortnight. 80% is on the card, while 20% goes into his bank account.
I was surprised by how much I could still use the card.
The new father also works casual shifts as a bar hand and delivering pizza. He says the only issue he's had is setting up rent payments.
The transfer would take too long. It'd take a day to get into the accounts that need to go into, and then another day before they could actually receive the money.
Now he's got that under control, he says the card has taught him to budget.
About 30% of your pay is going to end up on bills. So by having 80% set aside, it's a fair price.
But not everyone has such a glowing review of the card. Corey Kissack says he's struggling. What's life been like for you since you started on the card?
I was kind of nerve-wracked because I was like, it's already hard enough when you got free will.
He also receives the New Start allowance. He gets $515 a fortnight, $404 on the card, $111 in cash. $280 of that is spent on rent, leaving him just $235 a fortnight for everything else. He's looking for work, but has never held a job.
When you're unemployed, you can't do anything. You kind of sit at home and get really anxious and depressed, and when you try to go out to get a job, you're anxious and depressed, so it's harder to do anything.
He says the card has left him anxious to even go and buy anything due to the shame. Corey, have you had any instances around town where you haven't been able to use the card yet?
I haven't had any incidents yet, but it's been very stressful.
Do you think they should be raising the New Start allowance to make it a bit easier for you?
Yeah, it would be easier with an extra like $20 to $15.
Do you think we need to increase the New Start allowance?
There is no plans to change the New Start rate. There are significant and substantial support services out there, particularly for those individuals looking for work.
Local federal MP Keith Pitt says he's already seen improvements around his electorate, covering Hervey Bay to Bundaberg since the trial started, mainly in their youth unemployment rate.
At one stage, we had a youth unemployment rate of almost 28%. That is completely unacceptable. That rate is now down to just over 17.
He says any problems are a minority.
Now, let's be frank, there's almost 6,000 individuals who are on the cashless debit card in this electorate. If this was a substantial problem, our phones would be ringing off the hook.
I thought I'd lose a huge percentage of my customer base.
Sherry Horgan runs the Bundy Bogan and Disposal store. She's the first to admit she was dreading the card trial, but has been pleasantly surprised with no noticeable changes in sales.
They just use it as they would any other card.
For most of the businesses in town, the cashless debit card worked as soon as the trial started. For those who also sold alcohol and gambling products, they had to apply for an exemption.
Since it started, I haven't had too many come in, but I've been using it once or twice and it hasn't affected business at all.
Steve Paddo Patterson runs one of the local pubs, the Spotted Dog. He applied for an exemption so people could still eat at his bistro. So Paddo, people on the cashless debit card could still buy a meal here?
Yes, they can buy anything they like here on this lunch or dinner menu on this EFTPOS machine. It's integrated, but over at the bar they wouldn't be able to buy any drinks at all.
So it would decline?
Decline, yeah, for sure.
Well, there's no change in the amount of money that's being provided on social services. It just can't be spent on alcohol, pokies and drugs.
Despite what Keith Pitt calls fear-mongering about the card, his majority actually increased at May's federal election.
If the trial is successful over this period of 2 years, well, we should extend it and roll it out further. It should be a national rollout.
If you want the extra money, you got to go out and work for it.
And that's what Christian is trying to do, hoping he'll be off the card in the coming months.
My goal is to earn enough money that I don't have to rely on Centrelink anymore.
That'll be a proud day, won't it?
That's for sure.
The trial will end in mid-2020, and in a poll on our Facebook page, we've asked if you think the card is a good idea. 55% of you say yes, while 45% of you say no. There's still time to have your say. Just head to our Facebook page.